All right, let's play a little game called Will It Start? Come on, you got it, 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 do it. Yeah! Janky, dude. Hey. And welcome back to Janky AF. And here we are in this gorgeous 2005 Ford Escape Limited. Now, despite the California plates on this car, you see we have stumbled upon a late April winter wonderland here in upstate New York. Praying my cameras aren't going to fall off my cars and all the wetness today. I'm going to try to give you a little tour. You can see all these trees down perhaps in front of me, and obviously the police car is here, so we're going to turn around, but I just wanted to sort of give you a picture of what we're driving in today, weather-wise. And I wonder if we can go around this. I guess not. I'll just turn around. So good time to talk about our turning circle, or our turning radius, and our 3-point torture test. And it seems to be turning around just fine. Not bad, actually. You know, it is an SUV, so it's not going to be, you know, like driving a little MG or anything like that, but pretty maneuverable. And that's a good introduction to this car in general. So when I first got into this car, and I drove it the other day just to move it from one location to another to help Todd and Jack out. Now, this is Jack's car, and thank you so much to her for letting us drive this. I noticed that this, to me, and I'll get right to the point, harkens back to a lot of those little tiny SUVs that have become very trendy now. The Suzuki Sidekick, or the Suzuki Samurai, the Chevy Tracker and Geo Tracker. Those little sort of cartoonishly proportioned SUVs that were very small, and yet kind of, when you got in them, you're sitting up high, it feels like kind of big, and you feel like kind of king of the road even in this diminutive package. Looks like I may have to turn around here again. So you're getting this won't be a performance test of this vehicle today, but I wanted to just, you know, document for posterity the April showers that we hope are going to bring May flowers. Now, it is an extremely wet day. I had to shovel out my driveway. The snow is backbreakingly heavy and full of water and moisture. But hey, baby, as you can see on this giant plaque here that seems to have no real purpose other than, you know, peacocking, we have four-wheel drive. Now, the police cruiser's coming my way. Hopefully we won't have any incidents. And we'll just sort of drive by as if nothing's happening. Or maybe we'll talk to him. Hi there. Hi. Just coming from Chestnut. We were parked right in the middle zone, so just trying to get out. Just out of town, down to 33.
All right, 33 is closed.
Okay.
Where are you trying to get to ultimately?
Well, I was working out on 33 today, and then I was just going to go back to Milford. I came down 28 and it was open.
All right, yeah, 28, this part of 28 is open, but 33
Yeah.
is closed.
Yeah, I live in Milford, so.
Okay.
All right, well, I'll just.
No, we're going to open that, and you're going to go out that side. There's lines down, and we don't want you to go.
Okay, I'll turn around here and get out there. All right, thank you, appreciate it. So we're have a nice conversation with the nice officers there. Oh yes, we see a giant power line down right in front of us. So it is a good test for the four-wheel drive capability here. And those officers were very nice. I don't know if they noticed all the cameras on the car. So Jack inherited this car from her late father, and I want to respect her privacy in the matter, but it just goes to show that this car, oh, as we see a line, we might hit the rocket box on the top of this car in this line. This is going to be a very janky review. This car, like so many cars, is a product of circumstance. She inherited this car when her father passed away, and without going into too much detail, you know, she had an experience in this car on the way back, meeting some people who knew her father, and she had a complicated relationship, just like many people do with their parents. as we wave to the officer there. And she had an experience coming home that gave her sort of some peace and some clarity into the whole situation. And so if you want, you could say she escaped from, you know, sort of a lower place to a higher place in terms of her own spiritual journey. And this car, the Ford Escape, of course, facilitated that. So that's, you know, perhaps a bit of a stretch, but, you know, it's poetic enough, and I think it's nice. Like I was saying, this car does drive, you feel very high. Now, I'm not sure what the tire size is. I can try to get that information for you. Suffice it to say that, you know, it has almost like that kind of like truck-like rigidity to it when you know you're sitting on big tires. The steering is a beautiful combination of very heavy and yet very vague, which is certainly unique. Certainly this is not a performance car as we do our railroad track test. And while we're doing tests, might as well do our arm test. Now the arm, because you're sitting so up high, does rest nicely on this door. It's a little narrow, but it can be done. This car was just freshly detailed, so everything is beautiful inside. And that was because this car was taken across the country with 2 adult people and 2 very large dogs. And that goes to sort of display this car's capabilities as, you know, not just an SUV, but as an all-around good practical vehicle. Jack was able to find on Facebook Marketplace for free a little custom-made box that perfectly sits in the back of this. The rear seats are removed. And they were able to put a bed on it and have 2 giant dogs and themselves travel cross-country fairly comfortably. So that goes to show just, you know, even though it's a very small SUV, it's a compact SUV, that it has quite a bit of room inside, quite a bit of versatility. And I would even go so far as to say that I hope these gain a little foothold as somewhat of a classic, because they retain that sort of like late 80s, early 90s boxy styling. It's very muscular, it's very bulging. And it's just like a really nice little runabout vehicle. It's totally Ford interior 2000s here. You have your giant display of polished aluminum. Ford was just obsessed with showing how much polished aluminum clout they had. But other than that, and what I love about this interior, and this goes to it being the limited version or the, you know, upscale version, is it's completely tanned out in here. Everything is tan. I absolutely love it. I love tan interiors. You have your beautiful tan leather seats, which are showing their wear. Even a tan shift knob, a tan transmission tunnel, tan dashboard, tan airbag, tan steering wheel, a beautifully leather wrapped steering wheel, I might add. Your grab handle or oh shit bar is way up here, which actually is kind of nice to hold on to while you're driving. You have amazing visibility. And your tan headliner, and it even has a sunroof. Now this is kind of obscured by the rocket box on top right now, but just a beautiful, beautiful interior, and it goes very well with the exterior, which is this sort of wonderful champagne color. It's sort of like the old man spec, if you will. And if you look at it, especially next to the tan interior, when you see the door open, you can see both, or you see a hood line, you can kind of see both at the same time. It gives off this kind of wonderful greenish hue. Now, Ford was doing a lot of like sort of neon greens at this time. I believe this Escape even came in like a very like, you know, almost neon lime green. This is more subtle and it's more refined. And I think for the limited package, it's very, very beautiful. And you have just little black accents, black speakers here. You have a 6-disc CD changer. So you do have a bit of a black and tan interior with your black manual emergency brake lever, which is very, very nice. I do love a black and tan interior, and it fits another category, another box for me, which is the sort of basic car with the most high-end upscale luxury package. I like extreme, so I like a base model that's completely stripped bare, manual transmission, crank windows, and of course I love, you know, a luxury car if it has that base model package, but that's pretty rare. You see some memes on the internet of like a Porsche 911 cargo version with the plastic bumpers. I love that. But I also love a compact car that's loaded to the gills. And this is, in fact, now the model. I mean, that's one reason why, you know, Hyundai and Kia and those companies have done so well, because they've realized that if you make all these luxury features standard on a car, it's very, very appealing to people. So this is like the top of the line 2005 Ford Escape. And it really is sort of a brilliant package. Keeping with janky tradition, nothing is ever sort of really in order, as this is very stream of consciousness. But I will say, let's head down Main Street here. I will say that The reason why this car was detailed is because there was a dog incident, which ended up with the car being very, very dirty and very giving off an aroma, shall we say, that wasn't too pleasant. And I do have a text message conversation that I had with Todd about it, which will hopefully we can recreate right here for you. What happened with the pooping? Someone pooped in the car?
Coyote did. We cleaned it and then got it detailed.
Pooped all over?
Mostly the front passenger seat.
Diarrhea?
There was a bed in the back, so that protected most of the badness. Yes, diarrhea. It was horrible.
So the wonderful dog Coyote had diarrhea all over the place. It's been freshly detailed, and actually freshly detailed, and I'll give a shout out here, by Royal Chrysler of Oneonta, and shout out to them and Gavin, who has let me review some fine cars on this channel, and please go watch those reviews if you would. So we see a jogger in the street in jeans here. That's very nice. And look at this, you see your wonderful little children playing in the snow here on top of the big snow mounds. Classes are canceled today, it's a snow day, everything's wonderful, just driving around. And even though it is a late April blizzard snowstorm and the traffic lights are out, we have these California plates on them with diamond studding around them, and that brings a little warmth and sunshine into our lives. You know what, I'm gonna go straight here. Yes, I'm not sure what this older gentleman is doing. All right, well, we'll give it just a little bit of gas. Wow, I didn't even get a shift there. Transmission shifts very smoothly now. This does have 165,000 miles on it. And this, of course, being the upscale model, is the V6 version. They stuffed a little V6 in this version. It's the 3.0 Duratec, which I have to imagine, I'll have to do my research, is probably related in some way to the Vulcan V6 that was in the Ford Aerostar, of course, also being of displacement of 3 liters. So you do have plenty of power. Now it has this whine to it, which kind of sounds like it has a supercharger on it. I'm guessing that's probably due to some, mechanical aging that's going on, but it kind of sounds cool when you give it a little push. Checking to see if any cameras have fallen off. We'll see about that. So plenty of power. Now they did make this in a hybrid version, and it was the Ford Escape hybrid, of course. Your mileage wasn't that much better, but it was as many like sort of these hybrid cars were in the day, where they kind of just like slapped on an electric motor. It wasn't really designed to be a hybrid. But I think the Ford Escape hybrid is actually an excellent buy, because as I've been researching four-wheel drive hybrid cars, for the purchase of our little family here, it's very hard to find a hybrid all-wheel drive car, especially one that's under, say $40,000. And you can get a Ford Escape hybrid with under 100,000 miles for under $10,000, and you're still getting, like 36 miles to the gallon, very respectable. So I think this is a great buy for anyone who's looking for an all-wheel drive hybrid car where you're not going to totally break the bank, fuel mileage wise, but still have the capability of four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. It does say four-wheel drive, but there's no way to take it out of it, so I'm not sure if it's an all-wheel drive system. Perhaps if some people know these Ford drivetrains better than I can, you can chime in and tell me exactly how it works. But I do believe it's probably, it senses slip on a certain wheel and sends more power to that wheel. But it does seem to be an, full-time variant of that system. Now this era of 2005 is a very kind of cool era for Ford, because you had not only the Ford Escape, but it was while Mercury was still in business, or still a brand. So you had the Mercury Mariner, and then it was even while a lot of those Mazda collaborations were going on, the long-standing collaboration between Ford and Mazda. So you had the Mazda Tribute, which I feel like is a fantastic name, because it seems like it's a Mazda. It's a tribute. What is it a tribute to? Well, it's a tribute to the Ford Escape. It's Mazda's tribute car to the Ford Escape, and they call it the Mazda Tribute. I'm sure they didn't mean it that way, but that's certainly how I interpret it. I think it's fairly funny, and I love badge jobs. I love how 3 identical cars can have 3 unique identities. I think that's very funny. So just a wonderful car. They made these from 01 to 07, I believe. And after that, they started to get more rounded, more egg-shaped, and sort of take on the characteristics of every other crossover SUV. But I think this was a cool era for Ford because they really built a perfect combination of sort of a car and a truck. You know, it is an SUV. It's tall, it's big. You feel like you're very high in it, yet it has plenty of room, more than a sedan would. So you could take it cross country and sleep in it, like a sort of a, you know, a little more tough stance with some bigger tires. As we see this beautiful Honda Odyssey with a gray door and otherwise teal body. Very nice, very janky Thanky. So it's kind of the complete package, and now that these are getting older, you could, and I believe they have these with a manual transmission. I'll have to research that and see. According to Wikipedia, these came with a manual transmission. I don't know how many there are, or if they come in the 4-wheel drive version, because I believe these did come in front-wheel drive as well. But certainly a cool little factoid in the car universe. So, you know, a lot of engine combinations, transmission combinations, but certainly I think the hybrid would be the one to get just from the mileage. And I don't think you're really losing much on the power versus the V6. So that's it. The beautiful 2005 Ford Escape 4-wheel drive. A great car, without any doubt. We're getting some oil aromas. I believe I did see a little oil puddle on the in the driveway this morning. So hopefully we'll get that taken care of with 165,000. It's still going strong though, shifting nice and smoothly. Just another great car. And thank you again for Jack for not only taking this across the country, but taking care of it, getting it detailed, and not least of all, letting us drive it. Yeah, what more can I say? Janky do Thanky. Catch you for the next one.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.